Welcome back to the journey. And on this episode, I'll be talking about my losses I had this previous week, my mistakes, as well as, the lessons that I've learned. So this week I had two losses. One was GBPNZD and the other was GBPCHF. I also learned something from this trade that I took a little loss, but I closed very early. So I won't really call it a loss. It was like maybe like yeah, I won't really call it a loss, but I learned something from this trade. But yeah, but I'll focus more on these two actual losses. Right. So now one thing I've been trying to learn over one issue that I've been trying to fix for the longest time is my stop loss placement, right? So now for this trade, I followed all my rules, which is break up structure, right? And then the price comes back to retest this level, and then I'm expecting, let me zoom in, and then I'm expecting the retracement, to come back down to this imbalance or the other block or whatever, right? So now there are three ways of setting your stop loss. We have, let me just put this right here. So we have three ways of setting your stop loss. We have the tight stop loss, which is just, let's say, for instance, if you're entering through the zone, if this is your POI, which is cut point of interest, if you're entering through that zone, your stop loss is just going to be a little bit, above that zone. That's what a tight stop loss is, right? And then we now have like moderate stop loss, which is like you give it, a little bit of space, for just in case of like liquidity and all this kind of stuff to play out. And then we now have like the the safest choice, which is putting it above the previous high, which is like this level. So minimally, I believe it has happened to me up to like 8 or 9 times where I'll do everything right, but then my stop loss just be too tight that will take me out. That it's very normal in in trading where markets just tap you out and then go in your exact direction. That's one of the most painful things. One of the most painful things. But yeah, so now, so like after I noticed, that my stop loss was one of my biggest issues, then I started using instead of using a tight stop loss, I started using moderate stop loss. And then sometimes, I use I use the safe zone, which is putting it above the previous high. Now, in this case, actually had a feeling, right? I had a feeling that there's a possibility that price will actually come to the stop. I don't know, but I didn't just want to because like if I kept my stop loss above this high, my to be really really large. I think my TP was here somewhere around here. I believe I entered. Yeah, I believe I entered around there. My stop loss would have been so high. So I just was like, no, let me just go ahead and use a moderate stop loss, which was putting it just a little bit around the zone. But then it now happened that this past week, GBP was now super strong. As you can see, this push all the way from here. I think this happened within like a week, right? Just check. Even this other loss. So this one I actually needed to learn to keep it in my memory, not to trade from this zone. But I'll talk about this one soon. And you can see GBP AUD the same strength. So GBP was quite strong this week, right? So yeah, so this one is more of like 50-50. I'll say, part of it is my fault and another part of it is like that's how the game is. Sometimes price will just it's even possible that I could have kept my stop loss here, right, in the safest zone. And I'll probably still get liquidated. You get so this one is more like 50-50. But yeah, one thing I realize is the safe and the moderate zone is what works for me now. I'm not going to be using tight stop loss anymore. So yeah, so that's the lesson from this trade. Then another thing, so I entered this trade probably I think this should be June 26th, right? And then last week was when I learned about momentum and speed and strength of the movement. So I believe I spoke about this in my previous video. That for instance, the best type of setup is when price does like this, right? And then starts making higher highs and higher lows back to the point of interest, right? Because this what this means is that sellers are still there, they're still there, and then the moment price gets to that zone, there's going to be a strong reaction. But in a case like this, where like there was this very strong strength, right? So in for me, right, moving forward, what I would do is instead of just entering blindly when I see this kind of trend, I would just wait for a break of structure, and that's what already happened here, right? This is a clear break of structure, and I've already set this up on my phone already. And then when the price comes back up here, I will not enter, expecting it to come back down. So what happens after this doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter anymore for me. Because I've seen what I'm looking for. So in a situation like this, instead of me just allowing the trade to just push the trade one side, I will just wait for a second confirmation, which is this. So now I have two types of setup now. The first one is I can use buy limits for setup like this. I'm just drawing in case my mouse doesn't show. I can use a buy limit for setup like this. And then in this kind of situation where price is just moving without slowing down, I'll just wait for a break of structure and a retracement, and then I'll not enter at the other block. So I've already marked my zone where I'm expecting price to come to. And regarding my stop loss, I'm going to use a safe stop loss, which is above this high. So let's say I enter from here, put it above this high because there's a big chance that it might still come here again. Let me just draw this. It might still come to this zone. Right, so I've just put it above this. So this same stuff you're seeing here is similar to this. Right, this first zone, this first area is this one. Let me use it 2 hour. Exactly. So this first one you're seeing here is same as this one, and then this other high is this one. So yeah, that's what I think though. So, but yes, I'm going to use if price actually comes back to retrace, I'm going to use the safe method, and then we'll now take it back down here because like I said, I always do top down analysis. If I can just take it out. Um, so I always do top down analysis. Yeah, so you can see prices. This zone is a magnet, right? This imbalance that is here, this other block that is here. So that's all I'm expecting. This is a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So that's perfect. But yeah, so the lessons from this trade is I should whenever price is pushing up, pushing forward or pushing down without like slowing down, I should just wait for a break of structure, wait for that second confirmation, then I will enter. And I should continue using a moderate stop loss or the safe stop loss. So that's that. Every other thing was correct. I waited for, I followed all my rules, clear break of structure, a clear zone. Also, another thing, the zone should be fresh. This is a fresh zone. It's coming here for the first time. Right, followed all my rules, but the areas I didn't really, because I didn't know at that point was, realizing that when price is pushing up, I should have waited for this break of structure. Yeah, so that's that for this one. So big, I know this one is really gonna help me in my trading because before I always use buy limits all the time, but now I know when to use buy limits and when to wait for break of structure. So those are like two important things, two big important things. Now this GBPCHF, right? So normally I can trade the same or like well, I don't know what they call this. Let's say this is denominator. This is like the major pair, which is GBP, right? I can trade the maximum of two at the same time. What I mean is, like, say for instance, GBP is like the same type of currency. Maximum I can trade is two at the same time. If you're trading more than two, it's like you're just risking it. So sometimes they all move together. I know the denominator they always move together. Like USD pairs now, anyone that ends with USD, like EU, GU, Australian USD, they all buy not the exact same time, but like very, they have like the correlation is quite strong. You guys, but in this case, so GBP and I feel like for last week alone, right, was when GBP was just moving crazy. Like we're just buying crazy. But another thing I learned from this particular trade is never to sell at this zone, like this area. Or if I actually want to sell at this area, I'll just wait for that break of structure, right? So there's a mistake I used to make before, which was this kind of call, right? I had to take a couple of losses for it to get stuck in my memory that even if I see these areas, I shouldn't enter. It took me a while to actually understand that these are not when the curve is this big, when the curve is this big, when the curve is as big as no matter what kind of zone that you have, there's a big chance that it's going to break. You can see this one here too, same thing. So and that was why I actually needed to. That was why I actually wanted to enter this trade. Yes, I followed my rules. You can see the break of the liquidity. What do you call it? The liquidity was taken away from this zone, and then this zone, and then this was this was a major level year. So I wanted to actually take this trade so that I would to enter my head that, oh, next time when I see this particular pattern, because trading is all pattern recognition, right? I'll probably see this kind of trade again, maybe like dozens of more times. But now that I know what to look for, now that I know, oh, whenever I see this bottom area, I should just let it go or just wait for that second confirmation. So yeah, so I would say this one I followed my rules partially, right? Because this is to show the breakup structure and everything. So yeah, so lesson learned is when price is moving very strong. Yeah, so this one probably this one will probably not that strong because as you can see what I was talking about, the ups and downs, right? So this is up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's definitely gonna come back down. Probably like it could be this level. Oh shit. It could be this level the price is probably coming to. Yes. Now once it gets here, I'll wait. That's what I'm going to do. I will just wait for that break of structure and then boom, take it down. So those are my those are my new entry types now. If I see once I see that price is slowing down, once I see this and it's going back to a major level, let's say this is like this, right? Or not like that. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Yeah. So if I see this, I know that buy limit is ready, right? I don't have to wait for a break because price is already slowing down. But if I see this, let me delete this. I don't know how to draw. Uh, if I see this, I see just a little bit of up and down, and then it comes straight up. I'll wait for a break of structure, something like this, right? Then once it now comes back down, then I will not enter. That's it. Simple. So now I'm waiting for when I will realize this. I'm really waiting for when I realize this because I've been using buy limit for the longest of time. And sometimes to just take me out, right? It will just take me out. But now, I now know when to use buy limits and when not to use buy limit. Right. So yeah, so I think those will be big those will probably create a big change in my trading. Then the last one was this one. This one was like I just explained, when I see this kind of push. So now this pattern, I've taken it so many times. It had worked out for me countless of times, right? But this time something told me, oh, close. Because like I said, I'm using buy limit, right? Something just told me to close because of this strong push. And you can see NZD are the ones that were dropping. Yeah, see the same thing too. So they all move alike, right? So the moment I just saw that, oh, other players were dumping like crazy, I was like, let me just close. I think I lost maybe less than 2% of the amount. I closed immediately, right? I closed the moment I just saw that, nah, this is not it. So yeah, so the strength of the movement really matters. The strength of the movement. You can see this one too, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, then boom, right, slowing down. So that's it. That's it for this week. So moving forward, what I'm going to be doing is using buy limits when I see the price is slowing down and come back to a major level, and then but if it's not slowing down, then I wait for additional confirmation. So for this, I have nothing to trade anymore because price has taken out this level. I don't trade anything if I don't see my patterns, right? The patterns are heads and shoulder. The liquidity has been taken, but it's still within the zone. So nothing for me to trade here. But my next video is the one that I will talk about my upcoming trades for the week. Well, so that's it, man. We continue learning. Learning doesn't stop. One thing about trading is that you can never figure it out. Like you have to continue learning, spending hours and hours on the charts. You get so what I would advise people, just once you've understood the basics, like you've understood the technicals, you've understood charts and everything, just pick one person that you can learn from. Now, not like 100%, but like 80%. And for me, that guy is JEFX, right? You can check him out. He talks about chart like a professional. His videos are very professional, detailed. He doesn't talk too much. He just gives you, word for word what he's not trying to sell any tricks. Again, those people that are trying to sell you tricks that, oh, this thing works 90% of the time, 85% of the time. Those kind of people are what kind of people you should stay away from. You guys, so yeah, I think let me go to my YouTube. JEFX, JEFX. That's the guy. See, I would advise anyone to check out these videos. He also has like free courses as well. Okay, very detailed videos. Videos are very short, 23 minutes, 30 minutes, and everything. So yeah, man, that's it. So my patience for with my trades getting better. My stop loss placement to the same thing getting better. Now my execution is what and is what I'm about to work on now. Now I have two clear types of execution. When to use the buy limits and when to wait. Alright, so that's it for this video. How long? 16 minutes. Yeah. 16 minutes is perfect. Yeah, man, I'm still consistent in my trade logs, logging my trade logs. You know, journaling is what is the most important thing, one of the most important, probably the most important thing in trading, right? I'm writing it down very detailed so that whenever I come back to this place, I know, oh, this was why I took it, this was why, I didn't take it. Even the one that I didn't really take, which was this one, or this short NZD, right? I also wrote it down so that next time I remember that, oh, this was why I didn't take that trade and everything. So yeah, that's it for this video. Um, yeah, man. So like and subscribe, and feel free to share and follow me on my journey. Take care, everyone.